Okay. It being about 7:05, I'd like to welcome Commander Leo Agnew and Michael Johns to come up front, please.
Foxborough Board of Selectmen, Town Manager, citizens, all of you in the crowd tonight. Pretty overwhelming, actually, the number of people. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your continued support of veterans. Thank you specifically for your support of our combat wounded. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight is Foxborough's combat wounded, our Purple Heart recipients. And it's not enough for us to just put on the license plates, put on a sticker, and have one night of saying thank you. What tonight is about is our continued support, recognition, and provision of medical assistance and life support for our folks who've been wounded in combat. That's what this is about. And I think, our motto, Foxborough Cares, really speaks well to this. This is a Foxborough community effort. This is something that the community has really stepped up, reached out, and said, I have a neighbor who's a Purple Heart recipient. I have an uncle who I think might have been a recipient. And we've spent the last several months, about 2.5 months, researching that. So with that in mind, on my office door, I'm going to be displaying this sticker that Mr. Agnew, commander of the Massachusetts Military Order of the Purple Heart, just gave to me. It'll be there saying that we support our Purple Heart veterans, as the commander and his team do at the State House level. On the Foxborough team that's put this together, the Board of Selectmen, as I mentioned, as a whole, our town manager, Ginny Capola, has done countless hours, weekends, evenings of research, along with Jack Ortholet, our town historian, Jen Savickas from Historical, Paul Godin, and an entire team of folks that have really stepped up and made this happen. So let me tell you about the process of what has brought us to this point. Some point in our past, and I'm not sure exactly when it is, Commander Agnew and his team sent a letter to the Board of Selectmen. Former chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Mark Sullivan, took that letter and said, this is something we need to do. Handed it to the board and assigned it to Ginny Capola, who has since really driven this train in the right direction. What started as writing up a proclamation to say that Foxborough supports its Purple Heart recipients then grew into a search through military, veteran, and historical files throughout town and the state, calls to the National Purple Heart Hall of Fame, calls to the Massachusetts and National Military Order of the Purple Heart to find out who we have as recipients. And that has developed into a list of 72 Foxborough Purple Heart recipients. We're here tonight to recognize those recipients. It's important for me to say that 16 of those recipients are alive. About half of them are here with us tonight. And of that half of those, it was an enormous struggle to convince these folks to come and stand up and be recognized. They didn't want to be recognized. But here's the important thing. It's not so much recognizing these Purple Heart veterans or our deceased recipients. The important part of this is really educating our youth and our adults, our community, and reminding folks to remember, these folks have been wounded in combat. The suffering they've gone through started with a battlefield injury, came home, and their families, their community has supported them. Their family has been there all along. Our community now is putting a stake in the ground saying, we're going to step up and do better. We're going to be there. We're going to provide them services, tangible, real services, to make sure that we live up to the words, never forget. Okay, we're going to back that up with action. At this time, I'd like to introduce Commander Leo Agnew of the Massachusetts Military Order of the Purple Heart, and his team, whom he'll introduce. Mr. Agnew.
Thank you, Michael, and the Board of Selectmen. I introduce some of our members from the department. We have Tom Terrian, Betty Benoit, Wayne Henry. We have three Lindas with us, our Lindas. It's appropriate you took this time of year to for our presentation because it happens to be Purple Heart Week. And as everyone knows, August 7th is Purple Heart Day. And we'd like to acknowledge the Purple Heart recipients that are present, and we have a miniature Purple Heart pin that we're going to present to them, and a special pin presenting to the families of deceased Purple Heart recipients. On behalf of the Military Order of Purple Heart, the Department of Massachusetts, we'd like to present a certificate of acknowledgement to the town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, being designated as a town in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to be known as a Purple Heart community, honoring all who made the ultimate sacrifice and shed their blood, defending our country in all wars from Foxborough, Massachusetts, and honoring August 7th as Purple Heart Day, dated 5 August 2014.
And accepting this plaque on behalf of the town of Foxborough and the Board of Selectmen is Chairman Lorraine Brew. Commander Agnew and his team will be staying. We'll be inviting up a couple other guests, and I believe that Selectwoman Brew has a proclamation to read.
Yes. First off, I just want to thank again Michael Johns and his volunteer group, and also Selectman Ginny Capola on behalf of the town for their dedication and hard work to bringing this project to fruition. And Ginny will read a proclamation now on behalf of the board.
Resolution declaring Foxborough, Massachusetts to be a Purple Heart town. Whereas on August 7, 1782, General George Washington established the Badge of Military Merit to be awarded to enlisted men in recognition of whenever any singularly meritorious action is performed. And whereas, following the end of the Revolutionary War, the award was all but forgotten. In military terms, it was suffered broken service, only to be revived in 1932 by order of the Secretary of War through General Order No. 3, which stated, by order of the President of the United States, the Purple Heart, established by General George Washington at Newburgh, New York in August 7, 1782, during the War of the Revolution, is hereby revived out of respect to his memory and military achievements. And whereas the citizens of the town of Foxborough have great admiration for and the utmost gratitude to the men and women who have paid the high price for our freedom by leaving their families and communities and placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas our community has a proud tradition of military service, and members of our community have been awarded the Purple Heart as a result of being wounded or killed in any action against the enemy of the United States, or as a result of an act of any such enemy or opposing armed forces. And whereas the Department of the Massachusetts Military Order of the Purple Heart has invited the town of Foxborough to join with other Massachusetts communities to designate August 7 of each year as Purple Heart Day, in commemoration of the meritorious service rendered by its recipients and to honor the ideals so important to General Washington. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Foxborough Board of Selectmen, hereby proclaim Foxborough, Massachusetts as a Purple Heart town, honoring the service and sacrifice of our nation's men and women in uniform that were wounded or killed by the enemy while serving to protect the freedom enjoyed by all Americans. And be it further resolved that the Foxborough Board of Selectmen declares August 7, 2014 to be Purple Heart Day. Given this 10th day of June, 2014 by the Foxborough Board of Selectmen, Lorraine A. Brew, Chairman, John R. Gray, Jr., Vice Chairman, Virginia M. Capola, clerk, James P. DeVellis, David S. Feldman.
Thank you, Ginny. Okay, Mike, would you like to go back to the program and introduce our next guest, Senator Timilty?
Yes.
All right.
This effort, while it started small, it grew large in number, which is reflective of Foxborough's service. Across the nation, about 2% of our men and women serve in the military. And historically, Foxborough has sent about 8% of its citizenry into the military. So I'm not surprised that our number of recipients is much larger than we initially anticipated. This effort grew attention across several communities. I've had calls from a couple of counties, several towns, and drew attention from the State House from Representative Barrows and Senator Timilty, who would like to come up together to say a few words and present some proclamations. At the same time, I would invite Postmaster and Navy veteran Tom Driscoll to come up. He also has something to present to the town. I present to you Senator James Timilty, Representative Jay Barrows, and Postmaster Tom Driscoll.
Good evening to the board and Veteran Service Officer. Extraordinary work, and the whole committee that put this together. I think it's evident that when it comes to veterans, the town of Foxborough pays very special attention, not just based on participation, but it's not just Memorial Day and Veterans Day, but there's several other days that the board, the town, and volunteers make an effort to recognize veterans. And it's very important on this day, those who, this is the greatest country the world has ever seen, but freedom clearly is not free. And it's those who have sacrificed themselves and the families of those members who've gone overseas in harm's way and come back wounded. So it's a very special day for me as your state senator to be here. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to the town of Foxborough in recognition of Foxborough's designation as a Purple Heart town, and with deep appreciation for the service and sacrifice of the Purple Heart recipients. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. Signed by Therese Murray, President of the Senate, and offered by James E. Timilty, your state senator, on this day, the 5th of August, 2014. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, folks. Very humbled to be here in the presence of these great folks that have done an ultimate sacrifice and helped our country and keep us safe. On behalf of the post office, I'm here just to present to the veterans and the Board of Selectmen a plaque that we put together honoring the town of Foxborough for Purple Heart Town. It's a phenomenal effort that you've all done, and I sincerely appreciate it. And we have plenty of Purple Heart stamps at the post office. Please use them. They're wonderful. As well, I can't thank you enough for being here. Thank you, and thanks for all your support.
Postmaster Driscoll doesn't get a commission on those stamps, but he sure is pushing them. We've been using them at Town Hall. We've been using them at my home, and I know a lot of you are too. Thank you. That reminds us of the importance of remembering our veterans, especially our Purple Heart recipients.
Congratulations, Foxborough, on being a Purple Heart community. I really have been overwhelmed with the stories that I've read to see what you folks, the recipients, have gone through. And as Mike said earlier, to leave that legacy, to teach our children, to all of us to remember that freedom isn't free. Again, my congratulations. And it really is wonderful to see such support from the community tonight, so congratulations. I have a proclamation from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers a sincere congratulations to the town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, in recognition of your official certification as a Purple Heart town by the Massachusetts Military Order of the Purple Heart, and your proclamation that August 7th of every year be declared Purple Heart Day to honor those who have bravely served our nation. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given today, the 5th day of August, 2014 at the State House, signed by our Speaker, Robert DeLeo, and yours truly, Jay Barrow, State Representative. So thank you. Congratulations.
I'd like to depart from the program for 1 second to invite Postmaster Driscoll, our senator, our representative, and our folks from the Military Order of the Purple Heart to come up and behind the Board of Selectmen so that we can take a quick photo for folks that have pictures. We want to get a picture to put in Memorial Hall so that we can, again, put that stake in the ground and say, we, the leadership of the town of Foxborough and at the state of Massachusetts, are here to support you, the Purple Heart recipients, and the families thereof. So if I could invite you folks to come up, and if anybody's got a camera, take a picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, two very important things are about to happen. One, you just saw. We are holding ourselves accountable to you, the Purple Heart recipients of the town of Foxborough, to be here to back you up, to support you, and we mean that. Everyone here that has stood up in this picture, and all of you that are about to be recognized, are one team, one community. We're here to serve you. Now what we're going to do is call up, I'm going to read down the roll call of Purple Heart recipients. There are 72 names, of which a small number are here. If there's a family member here who is here, a next of kin, please come up to receive a certificate from the town of Foxborough. Purple Heart recipients, I would invite you to come up to receive a pin from the Military Order of the Purple Heart, a certificate from the state representative, state senator, and that's for the recipients. So at this point, we're going to turn to the folks who are important here today, the folks that drive this program, why we are here. Mr. Warren I. Aber, United States Marine Corps, World War II. Hartley Alden, United States Marine Corps, World War II. By the way, I understand that everyone isn't going to be here. These certificates from the town and other proclamations are going to be in Memorial Hall tomorrow evening from 7 to 9 o'clock, where the new Purple Heart display is going to be debuted, and you'll be able to receive your certificate if you're seeing this on television. So I'm just going to try to run through the list, but do please come up if I call your name, or if you're the next of kin, someone I call. Third, Eric Anderson, United States Air Force, Korea. Terry Baldwin, U.S. Army, Vietnam. And I know he has a family member here. Edwin Ballard, World War I. And that's worthy of a note because there was a period, as you heard in the proclamation, where the Purple Heart was not awarded, and that was up until 1932. 1932, this medal was reinstituted, and in Foxborough, it was posthumously awarded to 3 World War I veterans. One of them was a double recipient killed in action. Eugene C. Battles, United States Army, World War II. Frederick L. Bettenton, United States Navy, World War II. Arthur L. Brown, United States Army, Vietnam. Lloyd G. Brown, United States Army, World War II. I think we have a family member in the audience here. Francis A. Cahill, United States Army, Vietnam. Paul Callahan, Vietnam. Aldo J. Carbonetti, United States Army, World War II. Peter Connolly. Joseph F. Cook, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Joseph F. Cook, United States Marine Corps, World War II. Both killed in action. William Kosh, United States Army, Vietnam. Shane Cossett, Afghanistan. Robert Curry, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Philip O. Davis, United States Army, World War II. David H. DeSalle, United States Army, World War II. Earl F. Dunlap, United States Marine Corps, World War II. Ralph Dupree, World War II. John Edwards. William Faria, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Frank Flagg, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Robert B. Flaherty, Army, World War II. Leslie D. Forrester, United States Army, World War II. Lawrence C. Foster, United States Army, World War I, and Foxborough's first recipient of the Purple Heart, posthumously killed in action. Lawrence C. Foster, United States Navy, World War II. Bennett B. Fuller, Army Air Corps, World War II. Mark W. Grigsby, Army, Vietnam. Jerome Hanley, United States Marine Corps, Afghanistan. Warren A. Hindenlang, United States Navy, World War II. Clifford R. Holmes, United States Air Force, World War II. Joseph S. Holt, United States Marine Corps, World War II. George Kelso, United States Army, World War II. Gerald F. Kennedy, United States Army, World War II. Gerald Kinsman, United States Army, Vietnam. Richard W. Lamson, United States Army, World War II. Leo Landry, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Hugh McCauley, United States Army, World War II. Ernest McBurney, World War II. James P. Mahoney, Army, World War II.
Thank you. Thank you.
Raymond Malley, Army Air Corps, World War II.
Thank you, Kyle.
James Mann, United States Army, World War II.
Yes.
Alan S. Martin, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Roy I. Martin, World War II. Richard W. Mason, World War II. Paul H. McAuliffe, United States Army, World War II. James W. McDavitt, United States Army, World War II. James F. McNabb, United States Marine Corps, World War II. Michael Medvaskis, Army Air Corps, World War II. Ronald A. Meisner, United States Marine Corps, Korea.
We owe you one. That becomes the work, you know.
Philip Burt Merriam, United States Navy, Korea. Gerald E. Metcalf, United States Army, Vietnam. Irwin Morse, World War II. Dominic Narciso, United States Army, World War II. Edward O'Malley, AKA Ted, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam. Edward J. Parker, United States Army, World War I. Donald B. Roberts, United States Army, World War II. David Robison, World War II. Glenn S. Saley, United States Army, World War II. Louis Seiden, World War II. Ralph R. Smith, United States Army, World War II. Milton A. Snow, AKA Pat, United States Army, Korea and Vietnam. Chesbrook Stoughton, AKA Chet, United States Army, Korea. These last two I had to tie to the bumper of my car to get them here. Thank you for coming. Floyd Tibbetts, United States Navy, World War II. Thomas Trabucco, United States Army, Vietnam.
Timothy Van House.
Thank you.
Presidency, thank you.
Everett R. Tripp, United States Army, World War I. Vicki Lowe, granddaughter of Mr. Tripp, is being shy, but she is here with us this evening. Arthur White, World War II. Nelson Young, United States Army, Korea. Theodore F. Young, United States Air Force, World War II. We're close to wrapping up this part of the Purple Heart ceremony. Tomorrow evening from 7 to 9 at Memorial Hall on the Foxborough Common. As I mentioned, the new Purple Heart display will be debuted with the proclamations you see here with the frame stamp from the post office, as well as Foxborough's first Purple Heart medal and several others. I invite you to join us tomorrow night from 7 to 9 at Memorial Hall. And again, any proclamations that we did not hand out tonight, we'll have there tomorrow. Also, this Thursday, I invite you to pay close attention to the Foxborough Reporter, where there'll be an extensive research article by our town historian, Jack Ortholet, highlighting many of the names you've heard called out tonight. And lastly, today is August 5th. 2 days from now, August 7th, which is National Purple Heart Day, we will have the flags around the common still, with this Purple Heart flag joining the other Purple Heart flag on the common on both sides of Memorial Hall. And this will be celebrated every year from now forward on August 7th. Location to be determined, I would assume, around the common at Memorial Hall. This is the end of our program. Thank you all for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for being here this evening. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, the most important people here are you, the Purple Heart recipients and family members, next of kin. We would like to get a photo of all of you. I don't know if it's most appropriate to do that outside in the hallway so you can continue business. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and the folks from the Military Order of the Purple Heart will be joining us out there. Thank you very much.
Mike, thanks very much for a terrific program. Commander Agnew, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Spot those